Yo guys, welcome back to another video. It's your boy King Apex here, back again with another helpful video. As you see by the title, this is your best career mode realistic sliders slash settings video that will help you have the best time in terms of your career mode, whether it's player or managerial career. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. You can do this on your career mode already, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to do it outside of that. And some things that I like to do to make career mode completely realistic is, first is camera. So we're going to start with the player career mode. So for me personally, if you're doing player career mode, there's two cameras you should really be using this year. One, of course, being the main one, being pro, gives you that immersive feeling. You're in the game, you feel like you're, basically right behind your player, watching it from he's, just behind him, which I do like. And if you are using the pro, then this is my custom settings down below here. I'll just quickly scroll down. As you can see, this is what I've got it on here. Just pause the video here and we want to see it. But I've got pro camera zoom on 0, so it's not too zoomed in. But if you do want to, I advise maybe go to 2. Camera speed on 7 so it doesn't swing too fast, and same with swing here on 14. You can tweak this obviously to make it right for you. The other camera that you should be using, or you can use, is of course broadcast, which I do quite like. Again, broadcast though depends on the type of player, like the kind of player you are. I just think if you want to make it realistic, broadcast is good, but I think stick for this case, for player career mode, stick with pro. Now going into manager career mode, there's a couple cameras you could use. I stick with EA Sports Game Cam, and I'll show you how that looks like now. And I also use similar to what I said before, I also use broadcast as well to give me that realistic feeling as if I'm watching it on TV, and this is how that looks. Both cameras are good, and again, these are the settings that I use for custom in terms of I want it to kind of zoom in on the far side. I'll probably actually bring that down actually to about 16 actually, but zooms on 16, ball tracking speeds there, penalty area zoom. That's the kind of that's the kind of settings I have for my camera. Now guys, going on to visual, I mean this is pretty much your own choice really, but visual wise I got it on player name and indicator. Once I start doing mods, there's actually you're gonna see nothing on the bottom of the screen at all. So it's just gonna be, all you're gonna see is the player names on the top of the heads, which I think is better, easy for you to see who's on the ball when you're playing. I actually don't really play with this. Actually I do actually. Yeah, but it allows you to see who's on the ball when you're like passing the ball to each other, etc, etc. Of course, all this stuff here down below is more so your own preference in terms of what you prefer. Audio, for obvious reasons, I don't actually play with music on, because obviously I do YouTube videos. I have the commentary on random. I do like sometimes how you get what's that name? You get Guy Mowbray and Sue, I can't remember her last name, Sue Smith, that's it. So I have it randomized. It changes it up, especially for different competitions. Just makes it better, changes it up so you're not just hearing the same people over and over again. But the main thing obviously that you guys will be caring about is simulation settings and slider settings, and of course actually rules. So I quickly touch on rules while I'm here. So rules is very when it comes to certain things, you have to have obviously injuries on, offsides on, bookings on. I've got the referee on strict, so you have more likely chances of red cards, him giving away like free kicks when it shouldn't really be a free kick, etc, etc. I actually have handballs on, but not for penalties, just because a lot of shots are taken in a game, and when they're taken, you have penalty like maybe one a game, maybe 2 a game, which is obviously unrealistic. So I have it just on for free kicks, and yeah, I think it works well. So simulation settings. Now this year in FC25, I like what EA are trying to do. They're trying to give you something to make it, realistic off the jump. They know, especially if you play career mode, the game out the box, how the CPU play against you is not necessarily realistic, and how you will play against them won't be realistic. So I kind of like what they've done. So they have given us, a couple options by default out the box that you can't customize. So of course you have the normal classic, you can add in wind effects if you want to, and then obviously weather effects of that. So wind can be really high, etc, etc. Realistically, it's probably about mediums, probably the realistic. And then you have simulation, so the classic simulation. Now simulation, as you can see, I didn't say on classic, you see no changes are really made to your sliders. They're all just the default. Then of course simulation, and you obviously can still change this if you want to have weather effects on or not. I think if I was to use this, I'll keep it on medium or high for wind effects, and obviously have weather effects on. But as you can see with the simulation settings, when you put it on simulation, things start to change. So your sprint speed for both user and CPU is down, shot error is up, pass error is up, injuries are up but severity is low, goalkeepers are better, they mark higher up the field and tighter, same for the line, etc, etc, etc. Now all this is good, but I think, and I like what EA are trying to do, and maybe for the next game, or maybe they'll do a patch that can just tweak it a bit, but I think the CPU become a lot more, what's the word, even though they are better with this simulation settings, they are very the same. They do the same things over. You kind of read what's going to happen in the game, especially in player career mode. You know what's going to happen before it happens. So I've made my own changes to that, and I'll show you that now in my player career mode. So I've actually made my own changes to that, and I'll show you that I'll show you the changes that I've made in career mode for my simulation settings to not have it so monotonous. But before we do that, I'll quickly go into CPU sliders. So obviously CPU sliders, but something new this year in terms of being able to actually change it. And again, by default, you can see you have it on tactical. So as you can see, CPU decision making will fluctuate slightly from baseline behavior every match. So that means only slightly they're going to change every match, meaning there's variety when playing the opponent if you play the same team multiple times on career mode. Now if we're talking about dynamic, now it's the same as tactical, but they're going to basically learn from how you play, try to change it up. Now I've played on both of these, and I say yes, dynamic does change it up a little bit, but not enough for me. So let's go into what the changes I've made to make it better for career mode. So guys, changes that I've made. So obviously, as you can see, gameplay type for simulation gameplay is on custom. So I'm not going to talk about every single thing here, but sprint speed and user is on, of course, is lower to make it more realistic in terms of how they run. Pass error and shot error is higher up, just like it was how they give you out the box. You do realize sometimes in some games, shots that go in don't go in, and shots that shouldn't go in do go in. So I've got to tweak this to make it more realistic. And pass speeds up. Injuries, you can have more injuries in games, but obviously the severity that's going to be low. Goalkeepers I got up here. I'm actually going to put that up a little bit. As I said, I do think you score. I think we score a little bit too easy. But the simulation gameplay is not that far off what EA have given us. But you can pause at any time that you wish. But where I think the main changes that you're going to want is AI behavior. So as you can see, I've got tackle aggression from the CPU on 99. You might think, why have you got that? Simply because the CPU don't really make loads of fouls in the game, therefore you don't really get loads of free kicks. But having it on 99, they're a bit more aggressive. They'll style tackle you more. You see more red cards, you see more yellow cards, more free kicks and penalties for you to have in your career, whether player or managerial career. Build up speed, I got it on 66 again. I actually had this on 99, and it was a bit crazy. They would literally just do like 2-3 passes, and they were in my box already scoring. So I put it on 66, where they build up quite quickly. So you're talking like 2-3, 1-2, passes. And all of a sudden, they might do a couple skills, and then they're in the box, or they're pushing to get up the field very, very high, very quickly. So I like that. Shot frequency I got 70. I don't think the CPU naturally take a lot of shots, especially not outside the box. So you will get a lot more shots outside the box. Again, changes up how you will defend and how they will attack against you. First touch pass does what it says. I got that on 60. Crossing, again, CPU don't really cross in this game, and in past FIFAs anyway. So here they're crossing a lot more, which I do like. Dribble frequency, now I watched someone else's video that done a similar settings video. He had the dribble frequency quite high. I actually disagree. I think the CPU dribble too much in the game. So I've got it on 39 at the moment, but that might tweak, you know, depending on how the game evolves and the patches they come out with. The game is still quite new, obviously not quite new, it is new. So yeah, and then skill moves again, I got it on 50, but because I have I don't think I can see it on the screen what I'm looking for. No, it's not on this screen what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, here there's it. Because I have player-based difficulty on, if I do any more higher than 50, the players that are really good just do mad amount of skills, just do elasticos like crazy. So I don't really, yeah, that one I might bring down. I'm not too sure yet. But I'll go down again so in case you can just see it. So those are the changes that you should make in your career mode to make it realistic. Other things you should do in your career mode to make it realistic, if you haven't already and you start a new manager career mode, what I would do out there, make it tough on yourself, which is quickly play as Arteta for now, just to show you. Make it a bit tougher on yourself. So for example, instead of, you know, having transfers, you know, the first transfer window, maybe for the first one, disable it for the first window. Again, give you that time to kind of use the realistic signings that happen in real life. Have the scouting on, have training plans on, have that difficulty on legendary if you can, or ultimate if you can, but if it's too hard, legendary. I always disable the financial takeover. I want it to be as difficult as I can, and I have the ball expectations on strict, which I think is the hardest. Really? Yeah, strict. Which again gives you that realism. Match, of course, this comes to more, you know, the time you have in the day, etc. I play on about 5-minute halves. Again, difficulty, as I said, you should be looking at legendary or ultimate. And then the youth play tournaments, that don't really matter, but I would say you should probably try to play with them at their full potential to see how good they can actually be, you know, so you know. Of course, simulation gameplay we already spoke about. Training, as I said, to make it realistic, you may decide you want to do it manual automated. I don't really like doing the training, so I just keep it on automated. I won't lie to you. And then play. I do the playing training drills, and then development rate, I leave this as normal. I think if you change it up here, you might get some unrealistic results. So transfers and scouting. So I put this on strict so that in terms of how the CPU are likely to accept proposals is unlikely, as it is in real life. You can't just go one bid and say, yeah, sure, I'll take that, you know. So try to make it realistic as I can. And I actually put this on slow. Again, just because I'm an FM player, you don't get scout reports like the next day. You get them like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks over time. So this allows you to see how good people are over time. You know, when you do scout them, rather than, oh, instantly I know how good you are, you know. But that's just my personal opinion, but that's your own choice. And then lastly, general settings, again, board expectations on strict. International job offers, completely up to you. European competitions you should keep on, and financial takeover, as I said, disable that. You don't need that. And then currency, obviously, again, completely up to you. I play on sterling because I'm English, but you can have that on whatever you want to. So guys, that's been our settings / slider video. That's a tongue twister there. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. So take care, peace out.